Coach, now that you've had a little bit of time to look at it, how do you feel like Zaria, performed on Sunday night?
Well, first of all, Happy New Year. I don't think I met you. Happy New Year. The biggest thing that Zaria did was she had experience. We were very fortunate to get her cleared that day, and she hadn't practiced much. Yeah, but I knew that she had the experience of being in this league for 2 years and guarding Kentucky's actions and having to guard, a player like Ryan Howard, for 2 years. But I thought she was solid. She got a little winded there. I wasn't planning on playing her, I think it was 15 minutes. I was just want to spot her here and there. But there was a group in there defensively that was really, really good, and she was a part of that. But I was really pleased with her calmness and her experience. She gives us some things defensively that we can do with switching.
And with that, what is the plan going forward there, I guess, with minutes? Because you said you weren't planning on playing her for 15, 16 minutes. But what's kind of the plan going forward now?
Well, I think the biggest thing with Zaria, we know that, she knows this league, so she's definitely a player that we're going to rely on when it comes to defensive pressure, number one, and it allows us to change up our defenses with her. And she understands, for the most part, what I want offensively, just moving the ball. She's another ball handler on the perimeter, which is also very good, and just adds more depth to our perimeter.
Up next, we'll go to Courtney Robb.
Coach, just from what you've looked at so far with Florida, what do you see your biggest obstacle being against them?
I think the number one thing is guarding the basketball. We'll get beat if we guard like we did against Kentucky. It's just flat out. I've challenged our players. They got to guard, and then we got to rebound. We know those two things right off the bat is critical for us. If we don't do that, it'll be a long night.
And then just looking at both of the losses that your team has had this year, the one against South Florida and the one against Kentucky, both overtime losses, have you seen any similarities between both of those games that you can kind of pinpoint and know, hey, this is really something we need to look at and work on so we can finish these close games?
I think the South Florida game, we didn't make free throws. Transition defense wasn't good, and we didn't rebound. Those are areas that we've improved in. Our free throw percentage is improving. Our transition defense is improving. We definitely did that, especially against the Georgia team and even, against the Kentucky team. Now we just got to continue to get down in the stance and guard and stay locked in the half court. We're very capable of doing that. Again, you got players that are playing big minutes for us that are having to step up in roles that didn't play that much in the SEC. I got 4 players that played in the SEC good minutes. Those are my 3 starters with Rakia, Maya, and Jessica. And then you have Zaria, who played 13 minutes. After that, it was very little minutes for everybody else on our team, and everybody is new. So, experience is going to be the best teacher. We got to learn how to close games better. But I'm happy with the group. I'm happy that now they're getting the experience. We're seeing, who can do what, but we definitely have to finish and close games better.
Thank you.
Up next, we'll go to Ben Portnoy.
Not to harp on it too much, but as it relates to Zaria, when she got her diagnosis, obviously that's a pretty scary thing to deal with. How did you all kind of deal with that as a coaching staff, and how did she kind of take to it?
I think the biggest thing, we wanted her to know that, we're here for her. She's still a part of this team. I think sometimes you feel like you're not a part of the team, but she was very much a part of the team. There was stuff that she was still able to do. She was still able to lift weights and do some 5-on-0. We were just waiting for the clearance, for, contact and all of those things. So she was very much still integrated in our team, and we wanted to make sure that happened, because sometimes you can kind of, lose focus or get depressed with that. But she stayed in shape. Our credit, Marcy. She did extra. She was able to do individual workouts with our coaches. So she did all those things to help with her conditioning. Now it's just game, getting up and down. I don't think it's not that she's not in shape. She's not in game, the pace of the game.
And do you guys have any kind of strict, do you see her playing 10 to 15 minutes? Is there like a window that you see her as like trying to keep her at right now?
I just think for me, she's ready to go, so she'll play, and I don't put a limit on times. If I see a group that's playing well, we're gonna roll with it. But it's good to have someone that has experience that can come in and play, play for you, that knows this league.
Up next, we'll go to Robbie Falk.
Coach, you've alluded to that group the past couple of times we talked to you that played down the stretch. Zaria, Rakia was in there. I think Aaliyah was in there too. Is that a group that you feel comfortable giving more minutes or playing the most minutes moving forward, or is it just kind of, whatever comes over the next couple of games?
I think it's whatever it comes. I think, it is what group is really gelling and who's talking. That group talked the most. They made mistakes, but they made up for their mistakes for talking. And it's just a flow. I think the game is a flow. They had a really good flow, and we felt that the energy was good. I think that group started in the second half, the overtime force. They had a good flow. So it's just those things. It's about flow, and it's about what we see, out there, who's gelling in the moment.
Up next, we'll go to Joel Coleman.
Hey, this is just kind of a broad, just general, overall big picture question, I guess. But just right now, as you get into this season and you go along, I know when you took the job and things, you take over a team that has a ton of expectations, and you do it in the middle of a pandemic, and you have to get to know players. And I guess just generally speaking, how tough has this been for you coming in the circumstances that you had to come in with a pandemic and having to get to know everybody and then adapting a new coaching style to these girls? Just big picture, how tough has this been so far for not only you but the girls?
I think, in the beginning it was tough, but we're at this point now to where we're just still evolving and building our trust with each other. But I was, again, like I said, I was very thankful I was able to bring in an outside couple to help us with some team building. I thought that was critical for us to build authentic and genuine conversations through Zoom, because that's not my expertise. And it was really good when we got here in July. It was just natural, and we just had to continue to build on that, because now it was face-to-face. We were able to work out with them. They were up in the office, so it was more of a connection. But we had to start somewhere. But great group, for me, it's just getting them to understand who they are as people, how to treat people, how to be good teammates, how to have a positive attitude, and all of those things. What matters off the floor is so important as to being successful on the floor, and just how you handle your business off the floor, how you treat people, manners, that goes a long way. So just really getting our kids to understand that on a day-to-day basis. Thank you to our bus driver. Every time you get on and off the bus, those things go a long way, So, but they're buying into it, and they're a great group. We're continuing to learn and evolve and trust each other every day.
We'll go back to Robbie.
Said you liked how your team attacked practices when they came back from Christmas break, and just the attitude they had at practices. How have they attacked the last couple of days since this loss? How have you kind of seen them come to the gym and attack each practice?
Well, I thought today was really good. Probably about the last 30 minutes we fell off there. I think, when we came back from break, we were really sharp. We had a quick turnaround. When we played Kentucky, we wasn't as sharp as we needed to be. And I thought today we had a really, really good focus. So we have one more day to prep, and then we'll get ready to go on Thursday.